can't get no rest. No, no. I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest. No, no. This ain't easy, darling, 'cause the devil's on my trail. I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh yeah. I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh no. It ain't easy, darling, when the devil's on my trail. Oh yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to today's exciting episode of 6 Feet Apart with Sean and TJ. We're here, as always, at Felix E. Martin Jr. Hall in beautiful Greenville, Kentucky. And we have a first today, or a second. It's a first, second.
Yeah.
We have our first returning guest. We have Muhlenberg County Judge Executive Curtis McGehee. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And he was brave enough to come back again for a second time. I guess we took it pretty easy on him the first time around.
Yeah.
But he's here to offer some moral support today to the Muhlenberg County Public Health Director, Cathy Bethel.
Thank you.
Welcome. You're in good company.
I am in very good company.
Well, we'll try and be nicer to you than we usually are to him. So, but welcome and thanks for coming today. We know your office has been busier than you ever can imagine, I'm sure, in these last several months.
It has been astronomically overwhelming at times.
I like that, astronomically overwhelming.
Yes.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So, well, let's just jump right into it and walk through our day a little bit. How things happen in your office.
So people, I think, have the notion that we quit every day at 5. We do not.
Right.
Typically, we get cases reported to us round the clock, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Typically what happens is we're notified of a confirmed case. We collect all the information we have to collect about that confirmed person. We do what's called contact tracing. We call them, we notify them. We do a detailed history over where they've been over the past 2 weeks, who all they've been in contact with, without a mask, greater than 6 feet for longer than 10 minutes. Then we turn around and all those contacts of that confirmed case are all notified that they've been in contact with a confirmed person. And then we go through that and find out where all they've been, every place they've visited, every person they've been in contact with, and we quarantine the contacts of the confirmed case or isolate them.
It really is a ripple effect when you start talking about all the layers of it as it goes out.
It does. It really does. What we try to do is, they call it an epi link, which epi stands for epidemic. We try to see how cases are related to other cases. So I may have 3 confirmed cases ago that this person came in contact with, and now they're positive, so they are epi linked to that person.
Okay.
People typically ask us a million questions. Mostly the public wants to know where are the hot spots. There are no hot spots. Every place is a hot spot. And the reason why I say that is because there are so many asymptomatic people who have it, who get tested just because they want to get tested, not because they're having symptoms or anything of that nature. So when I tell them, assume everyone has it, it's not to put fear, but it's so that you remind yourself to do all the things that you need to do to stay safe, like 6 feet apart, wear your mask, wash your hands, socially distance. You know, if you don't need to be out there, don't be out there. You know, because it could be the person that you're walking beside of at the Kroger. It could be the person that you're walking beside of the Walmart. Those kinds of things. It is a process, you know, getting everybody isolated and everybody quarantined, making sure everybody understands what that means. And basically answering a million questions on, you know, what do I need to clean my house with? You know, and we've had people who've had trouble getting someone to drop food at their house. So we always take care of those issues too.
Right.
You know, we have people that we contact. We work with all of our community partners, and everybody's been so willingly to help.
Yeah.
So it's been a huge bonus.
It's amazing the amount of teamwork and
Right.
effort that has gone into it. Just looking at what we've done here at the school system, finishing up the school year, and then the feeding program and all those things. So you look at that on a community basis, and all the services that are needed. I'm sure it's been mind blowing. Was it astronomically overwhelming? The number-
Astronomically overwhelming.
Yeah.
That's my new word.
Yeah, I'm gonna work that in as much as I can, just to see all the moving parts during all that.
Yeah.
How many staff do you guys have at the?
We actually have a very small staff.
Odd.
As far as contact tracers and environmentalists, I have 2 part-time environmentalists. And when I say part-time, I have one that works 1 day and one that works 3 days.
That's really part time.
That's 2 part-time people. And then as far as clinical staff, I only have 14 total staff. And so what we've done is we have a regional team that the state has hired to help us with contact tracing. That regional team is not on site, but we work well together, just like we work here well in the county. I can contact them, you know, if they have any issues getting a hold of someone or anything like that, then we work it out. Because sometimes people won't take phone calls from unknown numbers,
Right.
you know, because they're all worried about spam risk and stuff. One of the major things with that is we will go into the health department. I try to give my staff time at home on the weekend. They still work, but they're home. So that incorporates cell phones instead of health department numbers.
Mhm.
So typically if we have someone that doesn't want to respond to a health department without a health department number, we'll go to the health department and call them. But that regional team has been so beneficial to us because there are certain times of the week now that we're getting slammed, and I may get 14 cases today, and I may get 0 tomorrow. And then the next day I'll get 10. So, you know, they've been real good about pitching in and assigning them and helping us in any way they can.
Is it something volunteers could come in and get with you and help with that? Is that?
No, it has to do a lot of the contact tracing, you know, and there's HIPAA involved
Right.
and those kinds of things. We're looking at hiring 2 part-time people to help. But by far and large, the regional team has helped us immensely with our contact tracing.
As far as reporting, you're getting this information from all over, I guess. People,
Yeah.
because like we went and tested in Hopkinsville at the 15-minute test, and I'm sure they report to wherever the people are from.
Yeah. Typically, we get some by encrypted email. We get some by fax. We get some by phone call, and then the results come. So it's a wide variety of places that we get labs from. So even though we get encrypted emails a lot, all weekend long, someone's going into the health department multiple times a day, checking the fax machines, making sure there are no positives or confirmed cases on the fax machine. If they are, I'm typically the one that checks them. I scan them in, encrypt them, and send them to the rest of the staff, and we divvy them up and we get them done. That's kind of how it rolls. We only get the positives. We don't get the negatives. I know that's one of the things that, you know, people ask me a lot. What's the positivity rate for Muhlenberg County specifically? I can't give you that rate because I don't get the negative results.
Yeah.
I only get the confirmed results.
You don't get total testing done.
No. The state gets that, and even at best, they do their best they can with it. But all labs are supposed to report both to the state lab, and sometimes it has trouble getting there, or it gets lost, or they forget, and they have to call them and get the results in, that kind of stuff.
I guess those 0 case days are welcome.
They are. We have to have a cutoff at some point in time during the day. So even though I may tell you right now at this moment there are 0, in the next 30 minutes there could be 15. And then those get reported on the following day.
I know you like hearing those 0 days come across as well.
Yes, we just don't have enough of them anymore.
Right.
But Director Bethel has done, in my estimation, a superior job. Certainly, that's been true in her communication with me in my office and with the COVID task force team that we have in place in Muhlenberg County. And I just can't say enough good things about her and the people that are working closely with her at the health department. Not only have they processed information and processed and investigated each of these COVID-19 cases, but they've also gotten some very beneficial information out to the community, and they have done that over and over again. I think we've had a great team in Muhlenberg County. You guys are part of that team. We've been on here, and other guests have been on here talking about COVID-19 and how it is impacting our community. I think we're getting at a point, we've heard some very consistent messages locally on a state and national level about what we're supposed to do. I think most people realize at this point that if they're going to be out in the public and they're going to be within 6 feet of someone, it's going to be helpful for them to be wearing a mask. Obviously, washing your hands, we've always known was important, maybe never more important than it is now. I think it's really important too for us to think about why we do these things. Why is it that we take these precautions? Well, it's important for all of us to be safe, obviously, for our own well-being, but if we, in fact, become infected, someone else could get sick because of us. And now we're looking at some things economically, and have been now for several weeks, of how this is impacting our community from an economical perspective. And the sooner we get better, the better chance our businesses have of recovery. And so I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that we will continue to get better as a community, so that we can get our businesses back up and going.
Amen to that.
Yes, absolutely.
When all this started and we first started hearing about it on nationally and internationally, did it take a while for it to start to trickle down here? Did you think, well, maybe this is not going to reach us? Or
Now, I think we always knew it would reach us. I think that what we were thinking is how long is it going to take to get here, and how many times is it going to mutate before it gets here?
Right.
You know, we started preparing way before it got to the state of Kentucky. You know, we contacted all the long-term care facilities. We contacted the prison system, the jail. You know, we all started working on it way beforehand. Do you have a plan? Do you need help with a plan? Because it'll get here. I just don't know when. It's just got that trickle effect. It's highly viral, very contagious. And I have a lot of people ask me, well, there's really no difference than the flu. But there is. The difference between it and the flu is the flu has been around for a number of years. And even though every year the strain is a little different and the flu shot may not be 100% effective, at some point in time, all of us in this room can say we've all been exposed to the flu. So we all have a little bit of an immunity to that. Plus, there's a vaccine for that. None of us have an immunity to COVID-19 unless we've had it. And, you know, we've had an antibody test and it confirms that we've carried those. That's what the major difference is between it and the flu. I wondered how long it was going to take from March the 6th, when the first case showed up in Kentucky, to how long it was going to reach Western Kentucky. Mm-hmm. You know, how long do we have? What time span? You know, and it got here on March the 18th.
I was going to ask how long we did have, so not quite 2 weeks.
Yeah, it got here on March the 18th was when we got the first positive results.
You just alluded to something in regard to immunity, and a question was asked of me the other day, and it'd be good for them to hear from a professional. I was asked, if you become ill with COVID-19, or you become infected with the virus, and then you recover, can you be reinfected? It's my understanding that once you've had it, that's it. Is that correct? Or?
No, you can have it more than once.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, because sometimes people don't build up antibodies.
I see.
You know, they don't have it. Maybe it's because, and they're still doing studies on it, but it may be because you don't have a hard enough case of it. So, like, if you think about it, there will be like 40,000 people, or 40% of the people here could contract COVID, which is roughly about 12,000. And of those 12,000, 80% of them, of that 12,000, have it, but they won't really know they have it, or they have very mild or very little symptoms. And I think those are probably the people that don't necessarily have immunity to it.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like some people just have the propensity to not build up an immunity to things.
Okay.
Hence our immunocompromised population.
So there is no magic cure that, oh, I've had it once, I'm never going to have it again.
No, not necessarily. And we do have people who test positive for it, and then because their work requires them to have 2 negatives before they come back, we have had people continually test positive. However, that could be because they have such an immunity to it. So typically they'll go get an antibody test after that. And the antibodies will show, yes, you're positive. And if you have a positive antibody, that's a good thing.
Right.
The other thing I think maybe people are confused about or wonder is, well, I tested negative, so I'm good. It's like, well, but then you could turn around and go to the store and be exposed to it 30 minutes later, and all of a
Very
sudden you're no
true.
longer negative. Negative doesn't mean immune.
No, negative doesn't mean immune. And one of the other things I think is really confusing to people is they'll get the antigen test. And the antigen test, if it's positive, you're positive. If it's negative, it has a really high rate of a false negative. And by that, there's a very fine, narrow window of when it captures when you're positive. We've had people who traveled and the entire household is positive but one person. And that's with an antigen test. And I'll say, well, you need to go get a PCR test. And
Now, what's the difference in those two tests?
okay, so PCR is a word about that long, so I'm probably not going to say
PCR sounds
it.
good to me. Then.
Right.
PCR, the difference between PCR and antigen is the PCR test is down on the minute DNA cellular level, where the antigen test is not.
Is there a time difference in those tests? Like, is one faster than the other? Or?
Well, the antigen test is the one that they typically do, but they've been doing a lot of rapid tests. That antigen test is usually the ones that are done around here in neighboring counties. There are some PCR tests that are rapid tests, and we're hoping to be doing those in about a month and a half. But the PCR test is 93% accurate, and the antigen test just is not. I mean, if you're positive, you're positive. But if you're negative, you're not necessarily negative because there's a narrow window that you may have fell out of. And we've had several families that the entire family is positive, but one person. And we send that one person for a PCR test, and they're positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets complicated.
Yeah.
It gets very
certainly does.
complicated.
Enormously
taking notes.
overwhelming.
Astronomically.
overwhelming.
There
You're
you
right.
go.
Come on. Sorry.
It does get complicated.
It does.
I'm so thankful that in Muhlenberg County we've had good teamwork from so many different people, so from the school system to healthcare to people like yourselves and newspaper media, getting the word out about what we can do to keep our community as safe as possible. I know everyone wants to be over this. I surely do. As a judge executive, I can't tell you how trying and difficult this has been for me and for our fiscal court. So we've had to make some hard decisions. I know everyone's having to make hard decisions, and we worry about our children, or at least I do. I'm sure we all do, what they're facing in regard to going back to school and COVID-19. And there's always little ears listening and minds working. And
Oh, yeah.
I've tried to be reassuring, and I know you have, that normally children are not adversely affected by COVID-19. And I think it's important for them to get good information and for our community to get good information. And I'm really, really pleased, Director Bethel, with the way your organization has handled that, getting information to our community. But if we could just take advantage of this spotlight moment and hear from you as a health department director, what's the most important thing we can do in our community, do you think, to get this moving in the right direction?
I think that to get us moving in the right direction, we have to put aside all of our personal thoughts and opinions about how we feel about certain things.
That's good.
This is about our people. And everybody in this room, this is our people. And if we want our people to be healthy and our economy to be healthy, we have to save ourselves. So when I say that, you know, if we can do something small as wearing a mask and washing our hands and keeping 6 feet apart, why not save our people?
The whole
You
thing has
know.
become such a political
Yeah,
Yeah, and I don't want it to
statement,
be
one
about.
direction or another.
it's silly.
Yeah, I don't want it
It's
to be
silly.
about that. I don't want them to say, "Oh, well, you're taking away my freedom." I'm not trying to take away anybody's freedom. I'm trying to save our people, and I can't save our people by myself. It's a team effort.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, it's a team effort, and we have to pull together and be hashtag Muhlenberg, because that's what we are. There's no magic wand. There's no magic carpet. You know, no one's gonna come in and save us.
Right.
We have to save ourselves.
You know, for a place that is so community minded, now's the time to show that community mindedness and to
That's right.
and to
Oh,
worry
yeah.
more about those around you, not just yourself, and what you think or feel or
Yeah.
what your opinion is.
And I appreciate that you brought that up. It is, you know, I guess whether it's the Great Depression or COVID-19, anytime something major is going on in the country, it has the potential to become politicized. And that's very unfortunate because this is not a Democrat issue. It's not a Republican issue. It's not a Baptist issue or Methodist. This is a people issue.
It is.
And it's affecting people all over the world, but most especially we are concerned that it's affecting Muhlenberg County in so many different ways, and I'm just I'm hoping that we can follow up on some of these things you've said, and I know a lot of our people in our community are really trying hard.
Oh, they are.
I had drive-through for lunch yesterday, and the way that my meal was prepared and gotten to me, it was just amazing how much effort was put into that for people to keep themselves safe and to keep me safe.
Right.
And I didn't mention fast food industry a while ago, but our store, so many people are trying so hard.
They are.
And I think this would work better. The more people we get on the right team, the better I think it's going to work.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're going to take just a brief pause and take care of a little business ourselves here as we take a moment to thank our sponsors for all they do for us here at Felix C. Martin Junior Hall. We'll be back here in just a second with Muhlenberg County Judge Executive Curtis McGehee and Muhlenberg County Public Health Director Cathy Bethel. And welcome back to 6 Feet Apart with Sean and TJ. And thanks again to our sponsors here at Felix C. Martin Junior Hall for all of their support during this and every time since we've been open for going on 9 years now. So we're back with our guest today, Muhlenberg County Judge Executive Curtis McGehee and Muhlenberg County Public Health Director Cathy Bethel. We were talking before the break about how things sort of occur here on a daily basis and getting information and getting that out to people and who all you're reporting to and how this information
Disseminates to everybody.
yeah, how the county deals with it on that thing. If people are looking for information as far as what to do, how they can make sure their business is up to code or how to do things in a healthy way, what's the best way for them to find that out?
Well, we have a website. The Public Health, the Kentucky Department of Public Health has a website, and the website is healthyatwork.gov. And if they go there, then they can find the guidelines. Of course, there's always going to be something that's out of the ordinary that maybe they may not be able to find information on. And if they have a situation like that occurs, they can always contact us at the health department. Usually the environmentalists will look at those and send those up to the state for them. Or they can submit a plan to the state, whichever one they prefer to do. But if they want to contact the environmentalists, it's 270-754-1208.
Okay. And we'll put that website and those numbers up on the screen. And thank you for that information. People may have questions that they're just not sure. A lot of people have the same questions. I'm sure you talked about asking a lot of questions to people when you have a case come up. I'm sure you ask the same questions countless times a day.
Or they could have some good ideas too. There's a lot of ingenuity going on out there. So if they've
There
got
is.
some
There's a
good
lot of
ideas
out of the
that they want
box.
to share, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of out of the box. People have been really, really, really creative.
Yeah.
And I think that's outstanding because, one of the things that we wanted to do is to keep our people's mental health better. So, they have gone to great lengths to try to find ways to get people to get out and walk their dog. They've created some really out of the box things to get people up and moving so that they're still going, even though they're 6 feet apart.
Right. Yeah, when your normal routine is just completely haywire,
Oh, yeah.
it's
Right.
tough to get motivated to get out and get going.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm guilty of that a time or two myself. So, what's been, you've been in this position how many years now?
I've only been in this position for 3 years.
3 years. Well, at least
Define
it
how do you do?
wasn't 3
Well,
months like we said
And
earlier.
it's different than a lot of people think. A lot of people think that when you're a nurse, you're a nurse, but every nurse kind of has their niche and their specialty. Having the business side and that side, going from the private sector to the public health sector is entirely different because where you're guided by strictly policies and procedures at places, you have to learn all the regs for a wide variety of programs. We do a lot of different things that other people didn't do, and it's been a lot of learning really quick because when I started, it's when the pension stuff started. So I went from the pension to the pandemic. I'm hoping to leave a P out next year.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Maybe to be peaceful.
Yes,
There you go.
peaceful.
That
That'd be my P
work.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your background in healthcare has taken you a little bit of everywhere, in all the things you've done.
My background in healthcare is basically, I started out as a CNA and I worked my way up to being a nurse. I worked at Muhlenberg Community Hospital for way over 20 years. I went and worked at Owensboro Health.
Started when she was 5.
Right.
Yeah, I still, yeah. Don't want to tell my age there. I went to work for Owensboro Health and I worked there for 6 years and I got my master's in nursing and my master's in business and held a management position over there. I ended up coming back to work here because this position came open. I care about my family, and I don't mean just my personal family. I feel like that the entire county is my family because I've called this place home for more than 30 years. So I'm not an original Muhlenbergite, but I'm a gravitator.
I like that.
She's got all the good terms.
She
today.
does.
So
All kinds of t-shirts.
I need all kinds of t-shirts. So I came here when I was in my 20s, and I have a son who's in college, and I decided I wanted to come back here to work because I care about my county, and this position came open, which gave me the prime opportunity to do so. My parents live here. My dad recently passed, but my mom is still here, and it affords me the opportunity to be here close at home and still do the things that I'm passionate about, which is taking care of everybody.
Yeah. And you're not that this isn't enough to keep you busy, but there's a lot of other things in the community that you're involved in as well.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
I'm on the renal tourism. I'm on the Greater Chamber of Muhlenberg County, and I do pretty much anything anybody asks. I talk to schools. I help with the school system sometimes. I'm actually the co-vice chair for the Champions, which is for drug-free Muhlenberg County. I do a wide variety of things. Volunteer.
Yeah, the ability to say no is not something I don't think anyone on the stage is
I don't think so.
blessed with. So, but this is a great place to say yes to, and I'm thankful that,
Yeah.
that all of you have done that and appreciate your efforts.
I felt badly for Director Bethel because I know a lot of people, and I have to message her pretty often, call her, reach out to her through email, or and I know a lot of people are tugging at you a lot of different ways, but you've done a good job of juggling
Thank you.
this, and not just juggling it, but addressing it in a positive manner. And again, from so many different aspects. She's very appreciated, I can tell you, by Physical Court and by the community in general. She probably doesn't know how much she's appreciated.
I think the last time you were here, it was a 0 day, and I think you got that message when you just got here, and so you were very much appreciated that day. Not that he doesn't appreciate you on the non-0 days, but those 0 days.
Yeah, there are days when I don't. I've told her before. There are days I really don't want to hear from her.
Right.
She's got bad news some days, but.
Some days he'll say, I assume no news is good news.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I don't text you, it's good. Dad.
Yeah, we'll stick with that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Was there anything else that you want to share with our viewers as we go forward? I know that there are some. This is being filmed on Monday, July the
27th.
27th. Does that work for you? 27th?
I feel like I live in Groundhog's Day. So.
I'm sure. Yeah. Monday, July 27th. I know that
It's
the
a
governor
Monday.
is going to be maybe sharing some new information today, so things may change a little bit before we get this aired. But as we stand here on Monday morning, anything else that you want to share?
We did receive the Muhlenberg County Health Department applied for a mini grant, and we have partners. We have Bulls Pharmacy, Clinic Pharmacy, and Owensboro Health Muhlenberg Community Hospital partnered with us. We're going to be doing some free testing. We actually started ordering stuff today. The grant was for $150,000. We're going to do off-site testing, which means we're going to do the northern, the southern, the eastern, and the western regions of the county. We were supposed to get the rapid test course. Getting some supplies are extremely difficult. So what we've done is worked out an agreement with the Kentucky Department Lab, and we'll be doing those specimens, which means we'll FedEx them off, and the results usually come back in a day or two. It's usually a 24 to 48-hour turnaround. The hope of doing that is if we can get more people tested, maybe we can isolate them, maybe we can slow the spread and eliminate it so we can all move on with our lives. And that's the goal. The overall goal for everything that we're doing is to slow the spread, let it die out so that we can all move on. And that's why we ask people to do the things that we ask them to do to save ourselves.
Knowledge is power.
It
I
is.
mean, knowing, and then it tells you what direction to go in, what needs to be done. Ignorance is not bliss in this case,
No.
as much as we might like to think it is.
Well, and I think, the thing about it is there's a whole lot, we didn't have COVID before, so there's a whole lot we didn't know. It mutates. How long does it live on the surface? That changes. How long does it stay with one person? That's different. Everybody's DNA is different. Everybody's body chemistry is different. Some are immunocompromised, some are not. Some are young, some are old. So it's a disease that doesn't discern.
It's not a one-size-fits-all
It's
kind
not.
of case.
It's not. I wish, that I could twitch my nose or wave my magic wand and we'd all be gone back, or click my heels like Dorothy.
Right.
But I can't do that. So until then, we're all going to have to work together as a team to try to get it out of here.
It's perfect.
I've
Well,
seeing a lot of signs pop up, most of them red or blue, that say "Be kind,"
Yeah.
and that's kind of being associated, I think, with the COVID-19 issues that we're facing. And a lot of it's just either using good common sense or being kind, being considerate of others. And and when we do that, I think it helps to push it in the right direction.
Oh, yeah.
Always good to be kind.
Oh, yeah.
I'll vote for that.
Every day.
Well, we thank you, Director Bethel and Judge McGehee, for being here and being part of Team Muhlenberg.
Thank you.
And we're very fortunate to have you all in positions of leadership, and so we're thankful to have you leading the charge here, and hopefully the rest of our team will come on board and we'll get this knocked out. So, thank you for being a part of our team and spending part of your day with us. We always look forward to having time 6 feet apart.
All right.